Hey guys, this is the Good Captain, and this is a post Japan Turn 7 analysis video. And I'm doing a video now for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, I haven't been making them as often as I thought I would, but I just feel like I don't have too much to say. I'm making one now because whether I win or lose, this might be a video to my future self. The Good Captain definitely feels or felt like he is or was going to win this game after Japan's turn 7. I've got a strong sense of a clear path to victory at this point, and I want to discuss why I feel that way and how I feel like I've gotten here. So if I lose this game, because I don't want to say I'm sure of anything, because I'm not, but it's just a feeling. I want this to also serve as a video for myself to come back and review this. So to the future Good Captain, if you lost this game, I hope you're coming back to this video and analyzing it so you can find out what went wrong. Because you definitely felt like you had control of the game, or started to gain control of the game at this point. So, why do I feel this way? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about the economy. This is something that I feel doesn't get enough love in the Axis and Allies community, and it has a lot to do with this right here. I feel like there's a common misconception that if the Axis if they're not on a clear path to victory by turn 4 or 5, you're going to lose. And I've played players who sort of panic and attack, in a very wily manner, trying to gain the edge as quick as they can, because they feel like the Allied economy is just going to smother them if they don't get going fast enough. In my opinion, that's not true, and I'm tempted to say it's not opinion, because at the end of turn 2, and definitely by the end of turn 3, as the Axis player, I was making as much money as the Allied player. And I know this because at the end of each world turn, I count up all the Allied, the end of the world turn, I count up each Allied power and add them all together, and I can count up each Axis power and add them all together to get an idea of where we're at on the IPC tracker board. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is also to count up how much money was collected, because that can sometimes alter things a bit. So you'll add up all I do both. So by turn 3, I knew that the Allies were making as much as I'm making as much as the Allies were. So what is the implication from that? Well, it means you don't have to panic about getting things done. You can rest assured that your economy is as strong, and in my case, just a couple IPCs stronger, than the Allied one. So you don't have to worry about getting smothered. You just have to worry about aiming your purchases in the right direction and buying the right units. That's one element. And then the other element was the economy, the onboard economy, as I call it. So I already covered my Kursk fight as the Germans. I did a sort of an Operation Kursk, where I attacked into Belarusia and East Ukraine. It was a little too successful, and I was forced to capture Belarusia, which I didn't want to do, in point of fact. But we had a contingency plan for that, so we executed that, and it worked out okay. But we killed, I forget how many units, but we took off a lot more IPCs than we lost in ourselves. So that rebalances the total value of the pieces on the board, right? So that all the Allied units added up total together versus all the Axis units added up total together, we're shifting it in favor of the Axis. And I just had a turn, and this is why I'm making the video, I just had a turn where the Japanese basically did the same thing. I engaged 8 Allied infantries, I killed all 8, and I lost 3. And I'm keen on making sure that if dice, I'll be the first to admit if dice had a factor in this, but I don't feel like anybody got diced here, even though I probably should have lost one more. Technically, the Allies rolled, I'll just talk statistics. Out of the battle in Hawaii, the battle in Yakut, the battle in Kazakh, the battle in the Caucasus, and the battle in Anglo-Egypt here, there were 11 two defending dice rolled, and 3 hits were scored. So this is not crazy at all. 3.66 is the number. Like 3 or 4 hits should have been expected. More towards 4 than 3, that's true, but 3 or 4 hits, and they got 3 hits. So I'm just clearing the air on that for my, if at the very least, for my future self if I review this game in this video. I don't feel like dice were a factor in this turn, and I scored. The most pleasant thing for me was to score a total of 4 hits off the Russians. In fact, the Russians did the 3 hits back at me, but I don't care. Removing 4 Russian infantry pieces, when Russia is the weakest axis or weakest allied power, that's the creme de la creme. I'm really happy to remove Russian units more so than British or American units from this board, because Russia has the weakest economy, and so anytime it buys an infantry, it's paying a higher percentage cost of its national income for that infantry. So in that sense, Russian infantries are quote-unquote more expensive than British or American. So I bagged 4 Russian infantries. So combine that with the German Kursk attack, and I think Russia, hopefully I'm making the Russian player feel pressured to defend its capital. So I'm hoping to see them sort of back out of Novosibirsk and Shanghai and really turn the economy of the board, finish off the economy of the board in favor of the Axis. So that's how it feels right now. There's so much more I would say, but that's the ground I wanted to cover. At this point in the game, the good captain, you felt like you had gained an upper hand here, and that you might be gaining solid control over the course of this game. Of course, we could not, but that's my analysis so far, and this has been a fun game, and even if I lose, I'm glad to have feel this feeling like I might win, and that would even be, like, that's cool. I think one of the best games is where both sides feel like they had a shot at winning, and then one side or the other won, but both sides felt like they might win. So anyway, this is fun for me. I hope for a good game for the rest of the game here. Bye bye.